The oak-paneled courtroom on Center Street was built for dignity. Soaring ceilings, brass sconces, coat of arms seals hammered into mahogany benches. On a brisk Monday in May, it sounded like a cathedral, right up until Sean Diddy Combs brought his fists down with a thunder crack that made the stenographer jump. Pens froze, throats cleared. Even the wall clock seemed to stop. Minutes earlier, Justin Bieber, once the mop-haired kid Combs proudly called my little bro, had posted 3 frost-sharp lines on social media. I'm no victim, but real victims deserve justice. Let truth breathe. The courtroom's Wi-Fi was spotty, yet the words spread person to person like an electrical charge. Reporters read the post aloud. Junior associates whispered cliff notes to senior partners. A marshal scrolled, eyebrows arching as hashtags mushroomed in real time. Combs saw the tremor in the rows behind him, turned, and caught a glimpse of his own name trending beside Justice for Cassie. His hand, weighted by a diamond-crusted cufflink, rose, hovered, and slammed. Gasps ricocheted off the frescoed plaster. Judge Arun Subramanian, a man famous for granite composure, blinked once, twice, then declared a 10-minute recess to restore decorum. You could almost feel a fault line slipping under the parquet floorboards. One jolt from routine testimony to a moment that might rewrite 2 decades of hip-hop lore. Stick around, because that single blow was just the pilot flame. What ignited next? Graphic emails, freak-off confessions, a $20 million hush deal, and a protege's public defection will redraw where fame ends and accountability begins. Day 2 had started like any headline trial. Power suits, rattling coffee cups, curious tourists craning for a glimpse of rap royalty. Cassie Ventura, ethereal, guarded, 37, sat on the witness stand, knuckles whitening around a folded tissue. Defense attorney Ana Estevao circled, voice velvet soft, repeating 2 words: consensual exploration. Up came the exhibits: Gulfstream manifests, 12,400 Amex charges for penthouse baby oil deliveries, emails marked private in red. The air grew humid. Jurors leaned forward. Estevao read a line aloud: an itinerary for Freak Off 6.0, theme, masquerade. And then everything cracked. Combs, cheeks blotched crimson, lurched to his feet. The fist hammered down. A stack of glossy photo enlargements skittered off the table and fanned across the parquet like forbidden playing cards. One showed Cassie in a mirrored hotel suite, eyes glassy, flanked by 2 unidentified men in Venetian masks. Judge Subramanian's gavel struck only once. He didn't need a second blow. Recess, 10 minutes, counsel approach. Outside in the corridor, a veteran court reporter whispered, I covered the '99 club shooting trial. He never lost composure like that. Another replied, different stakes. This one's about who he is when no one's watching. At 9:47 a.m. Pacific, Scooter Braun emailed a 42-word statement to every gossip desk from Billboard to The Guardian. By Gai Tenoyan, 10, Tumzi had pushed an alert. By Mono 10, hashtag Bieber vs Diddy trended on X in 17 countries. Why did the pop star's carefully trimmed paragraph land like a mortar shell? Because their shared history ran deeper than the public reel. Flashback to 2009. A 15-year-old Bieber, hair swooped, squeaked onto a Manhattan sidewalk after a fan meet and greet. A black Maybach idled. Combs leaned out, grinned bright as paparazzi flashes, promising studio sessions, VIP lounges, and life lessons. In later vlogs still online, Combs wraps an arm around Bieber, rasps, I'm gonna give you the keys, but don't tell nobody where the party at. Viewers laughed. Now the clips play like uneasy prophecy. When Bieber's statement dropped, algorithms tilted. Spotify's hip-hop editorial team swapped a Diddy classic for a Post Malone track in Rap Caviar within 3 minutes. Marketing execs screenshot the timeline. When proteges revolt, the brand hemorrhages. Inside courtroom 26B, CNBC's pool reporter leaned across the press bench. He just saw the post on his phone, she muttered. Mouthed, really? Whether disbelief or heartbreak, no one could tell, but the optics were unambiguous. The kid wonder had exited the bad boy orbit. Cassie's story began like a fairy tale and mutated into a psychological maze. When she met Combs in 2005, she was 19, a model with one club single and oceans of ambition. He promised her mentorship, Fashion Week invites, the full Beyoncé trajectory. I thought he was a shortcut to my dreams, she told the jury. But dream seasons turned. She described hundreds of meticulously planned freak-offs, a term that sounded cartoonish until her details punched the room silent. Scene painting, rooftop pools rented at 3 a.m., lifeguards dismissed, spotlights replaced with violet gels that made bodies glow, suites draped in blackout curtains and humidifiers misting orange blossom water, so no perfume would override the scent of fear. iPads on tripods, Combs' idea of archival footage, capturing every angle while he barked, "Rewind that, day. Do it cleaner." Private doctors rigging IVs of vitamin drip and B-complex to keep participants alert between 8-hour marathons. Envelopes stuffed with cash waiting on nightstands beside NDAs thick enough to wedge open a bank vault door. She kept composure until prosecutors froze a still frame from a 2016 Intercontinental surveillance video. Combs yanking her ponytail, Cassie stumbling into a wall. A juror's hand flew to her mouth. Another juror's eyes rimmed red. Cassie's voice cracked once, just once, when she confessed she'd once leaned over a 15th floor balcony in Miami at sunrise, ready to end it. A gull crying below snapped her back. Fear kept her quiet until 2023 lawyers offered a $20 million settlement. She took the money, swallowed the shame, but found the hush money tasted like dirty water swirling through every corner of my soul. Microhook. But if her testimony hit like a tidal wave, the defense's next move would spin the entire room upside down. Ana Esteval returned from lunch clutching poster board enlargements. These weren't grainy paparazzi stills. They were Cassie's own texts, blown up to billboard size, chirpy, with winking emojis. "Babe, next level freak off tonight? Theme masquerade." The prosecution objected. Context missing, undue prejudice. Judge Subramanian allowed a sliver. Esteval read each syllable, her velvet tone suddenly surgeon sharp. Cassie stared at her lap. One message grew so explicit the stenographer paused, eyes wide, before typing. Reaction rippled. Twitter launched #freakoff. YouTube gossip channels live-streamed. Is Cassie a willing participant? The defense team smiled. Briefly, legal analysts on CNN blinked and cautioned. Victim blaming rarely plays well with jurors in 2025. Court recessed again. In the hallway, a Fox News pundit quipped, "They're trying to OJ this, turn the victim into the villain." TikTok clipped the line. Within hours, it had 8 million views. Combs' lawyers argued taste is not felony. Eccentric? Sure. Criminal? Absolutely not. They rolled out a timeline of consensual returns. Cassie re-signed to Bad Boy in 2010, traveled on Combs' jet in 2014, accepted $100K worth of Cartier jewelry in 2018. If he was a monster, the attorney asked, why keep choosing the castle? Prosecutors counterpunched with a racketeering flowchart that looked like an octopus of Shell LLCs. Velvet Rope Holdings wired $200,000 to a private clinic that prescribed untraceable benzodiazepines. Blue Cellar Media paid anonymous videographers content creation bonuses for explicit footage. Black Marble Security funneled hush stipends to ex-escorts worldwide. They called Tyrone Blake, former security chief, who described a midnight staff meeting. Combs allegedly waved a stack of NDAs, laughing, "These are my grenades. Pull a pin if anybody talks." Cable news split screens, left panel Diddy's team citing sex-positive lifestyles, right panel legal experts citing decades-long control network. Opinion polls diverged by generation. Gen Z leaned #believe Cassie, older boomer fans clung to innocent until proven. Sunset Boulevard felt aftershocks before the jury did. Within 24 hours, Diageo, already in a separate tequila dispute with Combs, froze all Ciroc co-branding. Revolt TV executives scheduled an emergency Zoom, instructing anchors to avoid the phrase "freak off" on air. A fragrance launch voiced by Combs disappeared from Sephora's homepage, replaced by vanilla stock imagery. Spotify genre editors shadow-muted bad boy classics, sliding them below algorithmic fold while quietly boosting replacement tracks. Celebrities scrambled. Drake's Insta story read simply, "Focus on the craft" over a blank studio screen. Fans read it as silent distancing. Kid Cudi's decade-old backstage selfies with Puff vanished. Even Michael B. Jordan issued a terse statement denying any connection to rumored island parties. Brand risk analysts fired up spreadsheets titled Taint Vectors, measuring how quickly sponsorship deals sour once an artist's name shares a headline with abuse allegations. The verdict? Faster than ever. By Wednesday, the courthouse steps bloomed with protest placards. No more freak-offs. Power consent. Pay restitution, not ends. Candles flickered in mason jars. Survivors' choirs sang hymns about rescue. Across a flimsy police barrier, die-hard bad boy fans blasted "Mo Money Mo" problems from portable speakers, chanting "Let Diddy Live." A TikTok trend emerged. Users duetted the 1997 "I'll Be Missing You" music video, pausing on Puff's mournful gaze, overlaying text. Who was missing Cassie? The split-screen irony stung. Petitions snowballed. One urged Spotify to flag all Combs tracks with a content warning splash similar to R. Kelly's. Another demanded the Grammys revoke Puff's 1998 Producer of the Year win. By week's end, the combined signatures topped 2.6 million. Cassie's Instagram following tripled. Survivors from Sao Paulo to Seoul posted their own stories tagged "I Stand With Cassie," forging a digital constellation of testimony. Prosecutors teased two-star witnesses still waiting in the wings. Rajiv Patel, FBI digital forensics lead, decrypted 14 terabytes of Combs' iCloud backups. He found a 2012 folder, Island Files, watermarked by GPS tags linking footage to a private K in the exhumus. Rumor says the clips show an Academy Award winner, an NBA All-Star, and a chart-topping R&B duo in compromising scenes. Trevor Marlowe, former Intercontinental security manager, claims Combs paid $40,000 in cash to disable hallway cameras during VIP stays, adding hazard pay if staff swore never to mention the shrieks echoing down carpeted corridors. Sentencing matrices loom. Racketeering alone invites up to life. Financial restitution could skyrocket past $100 million once punitive damages stack with back royalties. Insiders whisper of a plea bargain. Combs reportedly floated 9 figures plus a public apology video. Cassie's legal team replied, accountability isn't a bidding war. While lawyers argued, culture critics fired up podcasts titled The Last Days of the Bad Boy Era. Historians traced a lineage, the vaudeville impresarios who traded favors for stage time, jazz-era gangsters controlling nightclubs, rock and roll's groupie myths, Hollywood's casting couch folklore. Each generation promised it wouldn't happen again. Each generation failed. Music tech startups smelled opportunity. One launched a label promising no NDAs ever. Another touted an artist care division pairing therapy with legal counsel. Cynics called it branding. Optimists called it progress. On Clubhouse, a panel of female songwriters coined a phrase, proximity predators, mentors who dangle access until dependence replaces consent. A clip of their discussion hit 12 million views. Power teaches itself new tricks, so accountability has to evolve too. The judge's gavel hasn't fallen, but culture's verdict already feels etched in stone. One fist, one 3-line pop star statement, and the unsilenced words of a woman who refused to look away have retuned the soundtrack of a whole era. Where we once danced to grooves that masked real screams, we now pause, headphones half off, listening for echoes. What hangs in the balance isn't just Sean Diddy Combs' freedom. It's the unwritten contract between celebrity and audience. How much darkness are we willing to overlook for a hook we can dance to? If this is only week 1, imagine the aftershocks when the encrypted drives unlock. Picture the shattered contracts, the label rewrites, the trophies slid into storage, because award committees fear optics. Empires can crumble, but sometimes they dissolve pixel by pixel, playlist by playlist, until all that's left is a memory of a beat that used to rule the summer. Stay alert, because when power bends truth far enough, It doesn't just snap, it boomerangs, smashing the very pedestal it once propped up. And in that ricochet, there's a chance, just a chance that something better rises from the rubble.